Hey guys, recently I had made a video where I tested the theory that you might get better weapons or some of the wonder weapons more frequently out of the mystery box. After running several games and testing it, there wasn't enough evidence to show that the effects of this hat is to help you with the mystery box. I have a whole video on that. If you guys want to check it out, I'll have it down in the description. The next thing I wanted to test with this hat was the theory that you would get more power-ups, like the better power-ups like max ammos, fire cells, and double points. I've gotten messages from players where they really believe that wearing the hat does give them these better power-ups. So I went in and played 6 games to round 20 without his hat, and I counted every power-up, and then I went into 6 other games to round 20 with the hat and counted every power-up. I only did 6 games with and 6 games without because this was extremely time consuming and took me like 3 days, and I was just exhausted by that point. But here's all the pages that I used to chart every game. You can see I just put like a hash mark, whenever I would get a power up, I'd just pause the game and, note whatever just dropped. I learned some interesting stuff about the power ups in addition to testing about Al's hat, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Here's a chart that I made to show the results of all of those games, and I just added up every power up for all the games. So the top line up there says no hat, and if you go across, you can see how many power-ups I got total for all 6 games. So if you look at that top left corner box, it says no hat and max ammo and the number 34. So I played 6 games to round 20, so that's like 120 rounds total. And I got a total of 34 max ammos from all of those games. Again, this was without wearing the hat. Then I did the same thing. I played 6 games to round 20, and that's 120 rounds, and I wore the hat all of those games. I added up every max ammo that dropped, and that number was 32. I really feel like I tested this out in a way that would give me some pretty solid answers, and you can see here that wearing the hat did not give me more max ammos, and that's what a lot of people were really hoping for. I did the same thing for the fire cells, and you can see that I actually got less fire cells with the hat than without it. I think I have an explanation for why people think they might be getting more fire cells while wearing the hat. It's just a coincidence, and I'll explain that in a moment. There is actually a way to control what types of power-ups that you get. You have the ability to eliminate not getting any carpenters, and it allows you to get more of the other power-ups. You can also avoid getting death machines on solo if you wanted to. But from playing all of these games, what I've noticed is that there is an actual balance to how many they give you. You can see all the numbers are very close together, and the 6 games to round 20 without the hat gave me 175 power-ups. The 6 games to round 20 with the hat gave me 180 power-ups. So what I'm saying is that you are guaranteed a certain amount of power-ups by round 20, and it's going to be about 180. And then they're going to try to balance out each of those power-ups equally. You're only able to get 4 power-ups per round that are dropped from the zombies. Now you might get an additional one from a boss, but 4 is the max from the actual zombies. So after seeing how they kind of balance everything out and how it's calculated, I started to notice that there's an actual way to manipulate what power-ups you get. First off, let me explain the fire cells. The only way that you can obtain fire cells in a game is if you move the mystery box first. If you never move the mystery box and don't spin the box enough to get the teddy bear and make the box move, you are never going to get a fire cell that entire game. So that might be the explanation for why people think that they get more fire cells in some games than others. They don't know that you have to move the box first. So they might be playing a game and they notice that they're getting more fire cells, and they're also wearing Al's hat, and it's really only because the box is moved is why they're, starting to appear, but you're not going to get any more than normal by wearing the hat. Also, you'll notice in my chart that I didn't get any death machine drops, and that's because I didn't fully turn on the power. On Revelations on solo, yeah, you're supposed to get death machines, but if you don't turn on the power, you're not going to get them. So far you won't get fire cells unless you move the box. You will not get death machine drops unless you fully turn on power, and there's another way to control another power up, and that's the carpenter. The only way you get carpenters to drop is if there are windows that need to be boarded. So if all the windows are boarded in the game, you're never going to get a carpenter to drop. And this can actually be a good strategy to use. Like on Revelations, if you stay inside the stomach and you run trains in there, make sure you go into the stomach after all windows are boarded, like you've already got a carpenter. Then go into the stomach and play, and it's going to force the other power-ups to drop instead of carpenters. And obviously in the stomach, there's no threat of windows being unboarded because, it's just holes in the ground, and all the ones outside of the map are just going to stay boarded. And since the power-ups are structured in a way where you are guaranteed a certain amount, then not getting the carpenters is going to force the game to give you more of the better power-ups. So say for instance you play in the stomach on Revelations installations, yeah, that is the best place to go. And if you don't move the box, then you're not going to get fire cells. And if all the windows are boarded, you're not going to get carpenters. You're going to have to get death machines because you got to turn on the power to get there. But yeah, you're going to get a lot more of max ammos and all the other power-ups. So for me, this myth is 100% beyond a doubt busted. You do not get more power-ups or better power-ups whenever you're wearing Owl's hat. You can force better power-ups by manipulating the game, but it's not a benefit of wearing the hat. I will tell you right now though, this hat does have a benefit. We are still working on it. We're going to figure it out. It's not just for aesthetics. It's not to just remove other hats. So I will give you guys some more information on that once I learn some more, but I'm still working on it and I'll keep you guys updated. But I hope this helped you guys out. I actually really enjoyed making this video. It was fun going in and testing and seeing how the power-ups really work and understanding how they're structured. But let me know what you guys think and we'll see you next video.